Happy birthday, sweetheart. That was the message I expected to wake up to on the morning of my 28th birthday. But instead, I woke up to silence. No texts. No missed calls. Not even a lazy HBD from my mom. I shrugged it off at first. Maybe everyone was busy. Maybe they planned something later in the evening. Maybe they were pretending to forget, to surprise me. I got ready for work, opened Facebook out of habit. And froze. At the top of my feed was a photo. Bright. Colorful. Loud. A perfectly decorated living room. My parents' living room. Balloons everywhere. Confetti on the carpet. A cake on the table. And a big golden banner that read, "Happy birthday, princess." My first thought was, wait, princess? Who calls me that? Then I saw her. My younger sister, Tara, standing in the center of the room, grinning, holding a knife to cut the cake. And under the photo, surprised our baby girl with a late-night birthday party. Love you, Tara. My heart sank. My birthday. My birthday. And they celebrated it for her. At first I thought, maybe it's a mistake. Maybe they posted the wrong picture. Maybe they mislabeled it. But then I saw the comments. "Aw, she deserves it. Your favorite child is 25 already. She's so lucky to have parents like you. Such a sweet celebration." And the one that finally shattered me. "Mom, anything for our girl. She brings us joy." It felt like someone slowly pressed their hand around my throat. Warm, heavy, suffocating. I kept scrolling, hoping to find something, anything, that acknowledged me. Nothing. Not one post. Not one message. Not one word from the family I had bent over backwards for. I sat on my bed staring at the screen, my birthday forgotten, erased, replaced. And suddenly, everything from the past years began to connect. The accidental double plans. The forgotten achievements. The small gifts they didn't have time to buy for me. The way they always uplifted Tara, her job, her looks, her relationships, even when she did nothing extraordinary. While I worked 2 jobs. I supported the house when Dad was jobless. I paid Tara's college fee once. I skipped my own needs just to keep peace. Yet here I was. Scrolling through a party thrown for someone else. On my birthday. My hands shook with disbelief, anger, and humiliation all tangled together. I decided to call Mom. She picked up on the 3rd ring. "Hello," she said casually, almost cheerful. I swallowed the bitter taste in my mouth. "Mom? Did you guys throw a party yesterday?" "Oh yes," she replied. I could hear cups clinking behind her. It was last minute. Tara was feeling low, so we thought a small celebration would cheer her up. But, yesterday was my birthday. Silence. One long, awful, telling silence. Then she said, "Oh. Yes. Right. But you're an adult now. Tara still needs us emotionally. You understand, don't you?" My voice cracked. "So you couldn't even wish me?" "We were busy preparing things," she snapped, suddenly defensive. "And besides, Tara needed it more." Needed it more? Needed my birthday more? I felt something inside me crumble, the last, worn-out string that held me to them. I hung up without another word. A minute later, my phone buzzed. A message from Mom. "We'll wish you later. Don't make this about you." I stared at those words. Don't make this about you, on my birthday. I put down my phone. Slowly. Calmly. Like someone who had just stepped out of a dream and realized their entire life had been a joke they weren't in on. The rest of the day passed in a fog. I pretended to work. Pretended to smile. Pretended to be okay. Inside, something was shifting. Growing. Breaking. Clearing. By evening, I knew one thing. They weren't just forgetful. They weren't busy. They made a choice. And that choice did not include me. That was the moment, the exact, cold, painful moment, when the seed of a decision planted itself quietly in my heart. A decision I had never imagined making. A decision that would change everything. Because I thought the worst part of the day was over. I thought the Facebook betrayal was the peak. But I didn't know. The real shock was still waiting for me. And it was bigger, deeper, and far more cruel than I ever imagined. I thought the hurt ended there. But it was only the beginning. I stared at the Facebook post for a long time, rereading the captions, the laughing emojis, the comments from relatives saying, "Such a thoughtful family." My sister, Alyssa, posed in front of a giant golden 28, even though it wasn't her birthday. Mine was today. Today. I waited for someone, anyone, from my family to text me. Nothing. By noon, the silence felt like a weight on my chest. I tried distracting myself, cleaning, cooking, even baking myself a small cupcake just so I would have something to put a candle on, but all it did was make the apartment feel emptier. At 12:17 p.m., my phone finally buzzed. Dad. 2 words, busy today. No explanation, no apology, no happy birthday. I typed out a reply, deleted it. Typed again, deleted again. Eventually I just put my phone face down and sat on the couch, staring at the dim TV screen, seeing my own reflection. A 28-year-old who couldn't even get a simple birthday text from her own family. I didn't cry. I thought I would. Instead, I felt numb, floating outside of myself like I was watching someone else's life. By 2 p.m., I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my keys. If they were going to pretend like I didn't exist, I was going to find out why. Their house was only a 20-minute drive away, but my hands shook the entire time. I kept imagining scenarios in my head. Maybe it wasn't a real party. Maybe someone else threw it for Alyssa. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe they actually planned something for me later. But deep down, I already knew the truth. When I pulled up outside my parents' house, the driveway was packed. Cars of relatives who hadn't visited me in years. Colorful balloons tied to the porch railing. Music thumping from inside. A full, loud, cheerful celebration. For her. I stood there for a long moment, gripping my car door, forcing myself to breathe. I told myself I would walk in calmly. I would ask questions. I would keep my dignity. But that plan died the moment I stepped onto the porch. Through the window, I saw it. A massive banner hanging across the living room wall. Happy 28th birthday, Alyssa. My stomach twisted. That was my age. My birthday. My milestone. A wave of laughter erupted from inside. Someone clinked a glass. Champagne fizzed. My mom walked by holding a triple-layer strawberry cake, my favorite flavor, except the frosting read Alyssa. That was when something inside me cracked, silently but deeply, like a hairline fracture in glass. I pushed open the door. The music didn't stop. The crowd didn't freeze dramatically the way I'd imagined. In fact, only 3 people even glanced at me, and they all looked annoyed, like I was interrupting something I wasn't invited to. My mom finally noticed. "Ava," she said, blinking in surprise. "What are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" My voice shook. "It's my birthday." The room went unusually quiet for 2 seconds, then not-so-quiet laughter resumed behind me, like someone unpaused a soundtrack. My sister stepped forward, wearing a sparkly gold dress she definitely bought for attention. She gave me that practiced smile she used whenever she wanted to look innocent. "Oh my God, Ava," she said lightly. "Don't be dramatic. We were going to do something small for you later." "Really?" I asked. "After this?" She shrugged. "Well, Mom thought it made more sense. I had a rough year, and everyone wanted to cheer me up." "A rough year?" "Sure. Her breakup. Her job change. Her stress. Meanwhile, I had been scraping by with 2 jobs and 0 emotional support, none of which they ever noticed." My mom walked closer, lowering her voice like she was soothing a child. "Sweetheart, you know Alyssa needs more attention lately. You're stronger. You don't mind." That sentence stabbed deeper than anything else. Because it wasn't the first time she'd said something like that. Alyssa needs more. Alyssa deserves it. Alyssa is fragile. Alyssa is special. And me? I was the one who was fine, the one who could be ignored, forgotten, overlooked, because I wouldn't break. Except today, I was breaking. I swallowed hard. "You threw my birthday party for someone else. And you didn't even tell me." "Ava," my dad said from across the room, "don't start drama on your sister's day." "Her day. Not mine." Something hot and sharp burned behind my eyes. Then Dad added, "You should have called before showing up." That did it. I laughed. Out loud. A bitter, broken laugh that made a few relatives stare. "Right," I said. "I should have called to ask if I was allowed to attend my own birthday." My sister rolled her eyes. "Technically it's my party." "Technically," I said, "you stole it." The conversation was going nowhere. Their expressions were the same ones they had worn all my life whenever I wanted something, like I was inconveniencing them, like my feelings were too loud. I took a long breath and stepped back toward the door. Before leaving, I said quietly, but clearly enough for the room to hear. "This is the last birthday you'll ever forget. I promise." No one followed me. No one called me back. The moment the door closed behind me, the music went right back to full volume. I walked to my car slowly, breathing hard, trying to steady myself. Something inside me had changed. A shift. A decision forming. Because I wasn't going to let this go. Not anymore. I deserved better. And for the first time in my life, I was going to make sure they knew it. The next morning, my phone buzzed repeatedly. I ignored every call. By noon, I finally checked the messages. Most were from relatives. "You should apologize to Alyssa. You embarrassed everyone. Why would you ruin the party?" Not a single one said happy birthday. I put my phone down and walked to the mirror. For the first time in years, I looked at myself and didn't feel small. Losing them didn't scare me anymore. Being alone felt lighter than being ignored. At 3 p.m., my sister texted. "Mom says you should come over today. We saved you cake." I stared at the picture she attached. A crushed slice of my favorite strawberry cake, smashed into a paper plate like leftovers no one wanted. That was the moment I chose myself. Instead of replying, I opened Facebook and posted. "Yesterday, my family threw a birthday party. Not for me, the one who actually turned 28. But for my sister. I showed up to my own celebration uninvited. Today, I choose peace. Today, I choose distance. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't insult anyone. I just told the truth." Within minutes, messages poured in from coworkers, old friends, even people I hadn't talked to in years. All wishing me a real happy birthday. All reminding me that family isn't always blood, sometimes, it's anyone who actually sees you. My parents called, furious. I let the phone ring. That evening, my best friend Mia arrived with a small cake, candles, and a ridiculous golden crown. We laughed so hard my stomach hurt. For the first time in forever, I felt celebrated. As I blew out the candles, Mia asked softly, "What did you wish for?" I smiled. "Nothing," I said. "I already got it." Clarity. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need apologies. I just needed to walk away. And that was the birthday gift I finally gave myself.